Superintendent to Field Commander, the leadership leap. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how we can go from just being a normal construction manager to a field commander in the field. Absolutely a fantastic concept. There are similarities between construction and war and the military, which we are going to talk about today from some very reputable resources and influencers in the industry. And I'm also going to talk to you about how you can approach this overall project from a field commander standpoint. This is absolutely fantastic. If you've come for this kind of content, if you're interested in this, you've come to the right place. Let's go. Okay, so let's talk about this. Recently, Kevin and Kate and I went to muster, I think it was muster number 20, with Echelon Front with Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. Absolutely fantastic. And if you have read his book, or their book, sorry, Extreme Ownership, you'll know about these concepts, the rules of combat. The rules of combat are cover and move, simplify, prioritize and execute, and decentralized command. I did not create that. Jocko Willink and Leif Babin created that. That comes from their training and their books, but I'm referencing them and I will continue to reference them. This is the best pattern that I found though, for out of patent biographies and historical documents and books about war, the 33 strategies of war, the art of war, any of these references have great information on how to be a field commander, but I really like the pattern that Jocko comes up with and Leif Babin in their book. So I'm going to use that and explain how you can use that pattern to become a field commander. But let me first explain how I view this. So let's go over here to the flip chart. When I'm looking at a project site, let's just say that this is the project site, right? And here's the office back over here. So this office building is not where you do all of your work. The dilemma of command is a military concept where field commanders have to choose between, being back at headquarters or being out on the front lines. There's definitely a balance there, okay? There's a dilemma. Do you be with your people or do you be at headquarters? It's easier to receive communication here, but it's easier to lead here. Now, we really don't have to have that dilemma in our field command leadership if we approach it the right way. And so if we follow this pattern, we can take half of our time as a field commander, roughly, and plan the work and prepare the work, and the other half being out in the field. But the bottom line is, you got to look at it like this. You have different crews, which I'm going to just represent as circles. These are all circles based on the work of Frederick Taylor, as mentioned in the book Built to Fail. Back in the day, there was a decision made to segregate the labor force. So each crew does a separate scope of work. So we're all segregated, we're all separate, we're all in our own companies, right? And so the general contractor is here to organize these folks. So you have to look at these separate crews like they're their own military units, and you must make sure that they're heading in the right direction, accomplishing the mission, and that you're decentralizing command. A couple of things that I really like to do as a field commander, which I think you're going to love actually, is you use your visual war room, your planning area over here inside the office trailer, to really see the future, to look at different strategic and tactical moves, and to stay on track with projects and make sure that you're running the war from a visual standpoint. You've never seen generals in any war movies or in any biographies or in any real life stories where they didn't have field maps and field command centers. You need your own field command center. So you have your crystal ball, your field maps here. You also need your battle perch. I used to use the tower crane. Some people don't like to actually climb the tower crane. If you do it right, it is safe. If it's not safe for you, then why is it safe for the tower crane operator? Make sure that you have the right training. But I would come up here on the daily and literally, in a safe way, obviously in communication with the crane operator, look over the overall project and make sure that I can see the overall general operations, the movement of people, and get a feel for the project. The project will talk to you, right? This is well shown in the movie, the 1970s movie Patton, where he is always attempting to be at an elevated position and look over the battlefield. So not only do I have my advanced planning, my war maps, but I have my battle perch, right? I have my elevated location where I can go look at the project. If you don't have one, get one. This is priceless, okay? So as you're going through the project and you're observing, you're using your weekly work plan and your field observation to make sure, and your knowledge of the plans, right? Those are those three basic habits. Spend 15 to 30 minutes in the plans, 15 to 30 minutes in your production plan, and do field walks. You're using that to make sure that we're all heading in the right direction, and that everybody is heading at the same speed, the same distance apart, and everybody is working to optimize the whole of the project, right? So not only do I now have my maps and my crystal ball over here, and I have my battle perch, my elevated location, but I also have my field walks and being boots on the ground out in the field. So these three things every superintendent deserves. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you need to do with this, or what you could do if you want to really be effective. So this first concept that I got from Jocko Willink, cover and move. That means we have each other's back, okay? So the cover and move, if you're moving forward, and Jocko Willink explains that in a SEAL platoon, you are actually like covering for your partner, and they're moving forward, then they cover for you and you move forward. This basically means that you're able to work as a team, that you've built the team, and that there's trust. This is basically the concept that says we must build this team. So you as the field commander, if you want to be really, really great, you will build this office team. You will build the field team, your foreman and your crews, and you will build the whole team together into one unified group. Now that is key, because now everybody wants to work as a group and basically head in the same direction. If you don't have that, you don't have any of the other laws or the rules of combat. So make sure that you're building the team. That's step number one. Step number two is to simplify, okay? So if you have a team, and this team is brought together in the morning worker huddle, by the way, and in our last planner meetings and huddles, but then you simplify. So out in the field, each of these crews have their own crew board, which I've talked about in other videos. And you have in the actual office your overall strategic and tactical plan that includes your master plan, your norm level TAC plan, your pull plans, your weekly work plan, and your look aheads. And all of that shows the overall strategy and tactics for the job. And then each crew has their own individual board, which communicates their part of the overall plan, okay? This all has to be simplified. Is this information clear and understandable? Is the information on our huddle boards in the office clear and understandable? If not, we have more work to do. Number three, this one is prioritize and execute. So I'm going to say prior and exec. Prioritize and execute. Sorry, that has a C. What that means is that you are going to make sure that if all of your entities, your project management team, and all of your foremen on the project site are built as a team, and they have clear instructions that we came up with together as a part of the last planner system, that we prioritize and execute. Detach from emotions and know what the next actionable step is. It's going to take a field commander to know that. Each individual crew and person and functional area will want their own resources. Gimme, 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 gimme. We'll want all the labor. Gimme, 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 right? By human nature, they're not evil people to hog everything. And it's the field commander's job to make sure that resources, materials, and logistical systems are prioritizing and executing the most important things on the project. This is such a good video. Oh my gosh. According to your trade bottleneck, your zone bottleneck, and your overall project bottleneck, which is your most limiting factor. And that is key. Now, if that is all running, because you're meeting with your project management team and the foreman every day, and you have this cycle of planning every day, if this is done, then you can do number 4, which is decentralized command, okay? So when you decentralize command, that means that not only do the people in these crews, not only did they come up with the plan with you, not only do they have buy-in, not only do they know what the plan is, but they feel empowerment and a sense of accountability to accomplish that within their sphere, not as a separate crew, but as an aligned crew that is working together to optimize the entire project, not sub-optimized for their own work. And so this is literally a fantastic pattern that you can use to become a field commander as the superintendent on the project. So we're going to give you this in a nice visual, and we're going to link you to the book, Extreme Ownership and the Dichotomy of Leadership. You'll find those fantastic. And the other thing we're going to link you to is the upgraded Superintendent Miro board, which has a lot of these training references on them. But if you want to really be a great field commander, you will be educated and trained just like they do in the military. Have good experience with the basics just like they do in the military. Use technology just like they do in the military. You will have your look-ahead planning, your crystal ball. You will have your battle perch, and you will have your field walks so that you can cover and move, simplify, prioritize and execute in decentralized command. That's true field leadership here. That's you being a field commander, because every unit must be a team of teams and work independently to accomplish the overall mission. But you'll love these resources, so please check them out. I hope you've enjoyed the video as well. On we go.